Well, we'll go ahead and get started. And then as people kind of continue to join in, welcome and thank you so much. Oh, actually, I think that's my phone going off now. But we wanted to welcome you guys all here. Thank you so much to Steph and Chelsea and all of the founders that we have. Excited for you guys to share your stories, help let everyone kind of learn a little bit more about your backgrounds, your products, have the opportunity to ask questions. And then, of course, at the end, you will get the kind of email follow-up that has the virtual goodie bag offer, just as an extra special thank you for being a part of today. So I'll let you guys get going, and then you guys can all kind of continue on from there.
Okay. Well, welcome, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us, and I'm just excited to be a part of this. This was actually just Elizabeth. She brainstormed the whole idea, and it's just come together, and it's been so fun, and fun to meet some of these founders for the first time and some that are just old friends. So thanks for being with us tonight. I hope you do have a chance to get either a mocktail or a cocktail, whatever you choose, or some sparkling water, and just enjoy. I think it's going to be a fun hour ahead. So my name is Stephanie Holtz. This is my daughter, Chelsea, and we founded Tosi about 8 years ago. And so we started with a really simple supplement line, and you can kind of see it. It still lives on our website, but that's how we began just kind of the path into clean eating, label reading, and just kind of understanding better for you items. And so we were getting ready to launch the supplements. I was doing the customer service for a lot of our customers at the time that were trying the supplements. They were either doing digestive health or just overall weight management and just trying to get healthier, and the afternoon was a hard time for them. And so we really saw a need for a really clean, organic, delicious snack. And so that's how Tosi Super Bites were born. And I'm gonna let Chelsea tell you about them.
Yeah, so they were made in our kitchen. My mom went to Sprouts and just got some different ingredients that we knew were good for you and that tasted good as well. And so the Super Bites were born, and they're just a very simple, very clean nut and seed snack bar. They come in 8 flavors in 2 different sizes, and as my mom was saying, they were made for people who didn't want to make bad decisions later in the day. You're driving home from work, maybe you didn't have a chance to eat, and this actually happened to me yesterday on my way home from work. I was going to drive through and get a burrito, because who doesn't love a burrito? But I had the cashew coconut Super Bites in my car, and I thought, no, I should probably eat those. And I actually told my sister later on the phone, I was like, it came full circle. This is what they were made for. Thank you so much, Mom, for saving me from eating a burrito late in the afternoon.
No drive-through.
Yeah, no drive-through. And it's been very interesting. Going from kind of the supplement side to the snack side. It's a completely different world that we had no idea. We didn't know much about it, but we have learned a lot in the last 8 years, and it's been really fun to get to work with my mom.
All the time.
24/7. And it has been just a really interesting journey. It's so exciting to see it in stores that I didn't know we were in. Or even to see it for the first time in a store that I didn't know that we were in. But it's just been exciting hearing all of the positive feedback and everything from our customers about how much they love the product.
Diana, take it away. I think you're muted. Yep.
Hi, everybody. My name is Diana Levy, and I am the founder and CEO and owner of Undercover Snacks, and we make a really delicious product that is lightly chocolate covered crispy quinoa. We have 6 regular flavors, and now we've got 3 new seasonal holiday flavors that just came out. Background of the story is I kind of going back into the workplace after having not worked for many years, raised my kids, and I really wanted to start my own business. I had always wanted to start my own business, tried a couple of different ideas, and nothing really took hold. And I wanted to do something that, the goal was always to sort of bring my family and bring my husband in with me down the road. And my husband had worked in the food space, doing in finance. He had some experience working with chocolate companies. I've been a crazy chocoholic my whole life. I took a bunch of chocolate classes and originally had a small chocolate business that was called Undercover Chocolate Company. And then had some products, chocolate dipped products in a bunch of stores. And then 2 of my 3 daughters were diagnosed with celiac disease. And I really wanted to come out with a product that used the same amazing chocolate that I was using, but that was more of a snack, that was healthier, had clean ingredients, and that was obviously gluten-free, so it was something that they could eat as well. And I sort of did what Stephanie and Chelsea did. I went out, got a million different ingredients, started mixing things with chocolate in my kitchen, and came out with Undercover, what I called originally Undercover Quinoa, chocolate crispy quinoa. And it got into Whole Foods pretty quickly, and within, a couple of hours on the store, that just by luck, the whole Northeast team walked through, and they put it through the rest of the Northeast. And then within the next couple of years, things started to grow. My husband joined me in the business. My daughter joined me in the business. As we had the opportunity to really get the product in more stores, I wanted to find a co-manufacturer, and unfortunately was not able to do so because they couldn't manufacture the product because we had such a low ratio of chocolate to quinoa. And went to all the chocolate manufacturers and they said, sorry, it won't run through the pipes the way you have it. We can't run it. Went to all the cereal manufacturers and they wanted me to bind the ingredients with something else that had sugar in it or glucose. They couldn't bind it with chocolate. And so we made the very unusual decision to open our own factory. And so now, in addition to having our brand, we actually have an SQF3 level facility in East Hanover, New Jersey. And we've got, kind of learned that whole business too. And we have a state-of-the-art manufacturing line and now have products in, we think, around 4,000 stores and are working 24 hours a day. And similar to some of you guys, I'm with my husband all the time. I'm with my daughter is either with me or virtually with me 24 hours a day. So it's a really intense, but really fun business. And it's exciting and it's so much fun to be here with all of you. So thank you. Passing it on to who's ever next.
Hi, Melissa. I'm the founder of Kindroot, and we make functional adaptogenic lozenges. We're also the first ones to do a line of functional lozenges. My background is that I have asthma, and I always, whenever I get sick, I just get these coughs that just like last months on end. And so I end up consuming a lot of lozenges without really kind of thinking. And it was about 2 years ago, I was standing, I was cold, I had a cold and I was standing in line and I was trying to buy another Ricol or Vicks or Halls or whatever it was. And I would just grab them year after year. I didn't even think about it. But for whichever reason, I remember looking at the aisle and thinking, I've been buying the same thing for 20 or 30 years. Like nothing changed. It's the same 3 flavors. A lot of them will have actually soy or wheat added to them. The packaging is not that exciting. And I'm such a millennial customer that I want things to be fun and poppy. And, I want like them to think about how to connect to me as a customer. And so I started thinking about, well, maybe, it'd be interesting to create a new lozenge that was a little bit different. And I started working on kind of formulating at my house too. I set off quite a few fire alarms. And for those of you who don't know, you have to heat the lozenges to about 300 degrees for them to set. So it's actually pretty dangerous, which I also didn't realize at the time. And I have some small burns on my arms to kind of show for it. And I also was traveling a lot. So TSA stopped me at one point because I had adaptogenic powders in my bag that I just put into like a Ziploc and it looked just super suspicious. And so at that point I thought, why don't I actually look at a lozenge as a delivery mechanism and not just something for your throat? And that's actually how the whole line was born. And now, I have one for sleep. We have one for glow with collagen. There's one for mood. And there's one for focus. And we're actually launching a new one in 2 weeks that will have vitamin C and reishi mushroom for immunity that I'm really excited about. We also had some complications with manufacturing. I was trying to find one for about 8 months and they were basically telling me that it's just like, it's a silly idea. That's not how they do things. Nobody would buy it. Nobody would pay the price, all those kinds of things. So I ended up hiring somebody to help me start a small manufacturing facility in like a shared kitchen. And for about 8 months, me and my friends would go like nights and weekends, and we would just make them by hand. And I completely did not realize how much time it would take to do the whole production. And I completely did not factor in how long it would take to wrap it. And actually my friend Allie is one of the participants who used to come, and it would just take hours. Like it would take an hour to make 5 bags. So even if somebody wanted to try one bag, I would be like, like, you don't understand, like 25 minutes right here. Like, no, you cannot have it. But things kind of, I think, just have a way of solving themselves. We had a couple really fun accounts reach out, Anthropology, Urban Outfitters, where we're actually launching in a week. And kind of at the same time, I just was like, I'll just do one more Google search. Maybe there's one manufacturer I just haven't called. And that's the very last one I called after like 2 years of trying it, said yes. And so we moved over our production in June, and now I have scale, and now we're expanding and adding new flavors. So I feel like it's a kind of a rebirth in a way. And we turn 1 next week, so we survived.
Yeah, very fun. That's awesome. Fun. Kathy, you're next.
I am next. Hi, I'm Kathy Policio, founder of Kathy's Kitchen and creator of SuperSeedz. SuperSeedz are a no-shell gourmet dry roasted pumpkin seed that are peanut-free, gluten-free, they're vegan, paleo, keto. I like to say I was a genius and I went in trying to do all this. It just so happened, especially the allergen-free part, where a lot of moms would reach out and be like, oh my God, they'd be holding the bag. Is it safe for my kid to eat? I'd be like, you can open the bag, it's safe. Big news at SuperSeedz is last year, most people don't realize 80% of pumpkin seeds come out of China. We started importing our seeds now from Austria, where there are no GMOs. It's a bigger, more snackable pumpkin seed. With everything coming out of China, people are, suspicious and then just feeling like it's not a safe place. We were all ready to launch this at Expo West last March. We were going to stand on top of the mountain and yodel. We're not from China, but nobody was there. So it's been a very interesting year for SuperSeedz. We have 3 core line flavors. We are ready to launch our premium flavors. And we have a lot of new exciting things that we're working on. We'll probably launch them on Amazon and on our own website right now. But, we've always been SuperSeedz pumpkin seeds, but the platform is so huge that we're ready to break open and do some fun stuff. Like, it's top secret, but like brownie mixes made from seed proteins and just pumpkin protein and pancake mixes. We have a lot of fun stuff on the horizon that we're excited to launch once the world comes back.
Yes.
So cute.
I'm passing it on.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, Mandy and Sherry.
Oh, hello. Hi. So I'm Mandy and this is Sherry. We are the co-founders of Umpqua Oats, and we make oatmeal, flavored oatmeal. So it's all gourmet and ready to eat. We have cool little cups, and we also have a packet line for at-home eating. So Sherry and I started the company
2008.
12 years ago.
Yeah.
I only know that because my kids were a year old when we started and they just turned 13.
Yeah.
So I color my hair, so it's not great. Yeah, so yeah, go ahead.
Maybe we'll just tell you a little bit about how we got started.
So many of your stories we can relate to. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like
that happened to
co-packers
us too. Yes. Yeah. So in 2008, Mandy and I actually went to a soccer tournament in Portland, Oregon, for her oldest and my oldest. And we were always traveling like every weekend because we're from a tiny little town out of the Umpqua Valley, Roseburg, Oregon. And anyway, we walked into a coffee shop and we saw this beautiful picture of oatmeal on the menu. And we were kind of geeked out about it because at that time at a coffee shop, you could get bagels and pastries, but you couldn't get anything healthy. And so we actually yanked our kids out of the car and we're like, you're eating oatmeal before your soccer game. And anyway, the barista behind the counter, she opens this instant pack of oatmeal She dumps it in a cup. And we kind of looked at each other at the same time, and we're just kind of that wah moment of, we
This
thought,
is disgusting.
yes,
Yeah.
we thought somebody created oatmeal in a cup, and we found out that they had not yet. And
We're sitting there eating mush, and
Uh-huh.
it was awful. It was just like,
Paste,
wallpaper
yeah.
paste is what we call it. So we just we just like obsessed about this idea all weekend and all the applications that it could go to. And we just kind of hit the ground running. We went national with our specialty and non-retail distribution pretty quick. We went to like a coffee fest, and which is where we met the Tosi family.
Yeah.
And
but talking or backing up to manufacturing, we were manufacturing this out of our kitchen, my kitchen, and we see the nods, like, yep, it was. And we would have neighbors over hand labeling cups for us.
my mother-in-law,
Oh yes,
yeah.
And we could lay 500 cups out on the counter, the kitchen counter, and we would literally be holding bins and scooping like the oats and then the sugar and the
all
salt
the kids,
and it would be grandparents and kids and you name it, and they would be like, "You missed the cinnamon, back up."
Quality control. That was our quality control.
Yep. So,
and Sherry always ran the heat gun, and I swear she had carpal tunnel. For
yeah.
years
Oh my gosh, I know. So, but we did launch into specialty coffee first, and from there we went to food service, and then into grocery from there. So, now we kind of really hit all channels hard.
Yep.
So I wouldn't even know how many grocery stores we're in.
Over 5,000 retail grocery stores. Yeah.
That's great.
So that is the story. And the background kind of is, Sherry was at the time in Portland, Oregon, Sherry was a third grade school second and third grade school teacher. And my background was human resources, but I was off for a year. I had triplets at the time. And so I had taken a year off, and we launched this food company that we have no idea how to do food.
Everybody kept saying too,
nobody's gonna
like the throat lozenges. It's the same thing where nobody's going to spend $3.50 for a cup of oatmeal. And it was all the skeptics, and they don't realize what the ingredients are that actually go in to
and
make
the
that
packaging
oatmeal.
and the shipping and the distribution and the So. Yeah, we got told it was a stupid idea too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So great. Thank you guys.
Ruth, you want to bring it home?
Hey, yeah. Hey, everyone, great to be here. So I'm Ruth, and I'm the founder of Joya. We make botanical elixir blends based on traditional medicine that really allow you to get all the benefits of all these traditional medicinal ingredients in an easy, convenient way and support optimum health. So our blends support stress, immunity, digestion, cognitive function. Every blend kind of has different benefits, and they're super versatile, multi-purpose. You can make a latte. You can also mix it into a smoothie, oatmeal, breakfast, snacks, baked goods. They're super, super easy to work into your daily routine. Expertly formulated. Every blend is really, it's not just like a powder that has one or two kind of adaptogens or whatever mixed into it. Like they're all very synergistically, expertly formulated blends so that the herbs in each blend are chosen because they're complementary and synergistic and really enhance each other's properties. And so there's a lot going on there from a kind of traditional medicine and herbal perspective. And then also from a culinary perspective, the flavors are just super robust. The whole point of these products and the reason I launched Joya, I went through many years of extreme stress as a corporate lawyer, and then a few years of pretty serious health conditions leaving the law because of all those years of extreme stress, and healed myself using all these kinds of ingredients. But I was so frustrated at the time that everything on the market was either full of sugars and milk powders and fillers and kind of wasn't truly quality and effective, or was effective but tasted medicinal. And I knew that there had to be a way with my culinary background, and then later becoming a traditional kind of medicine specialist and holistic nutritionist, that there had to be a way to bridge the two and make products that were truly effective, but also tasted delicious and were something you actually craved and wanted to work into your daily routine. So that's kind of how we started. So I very much recovering corporate lawyer, but then left the law, studied holistic nutrition, and kind of dove into the space deeper and deeper. We had our 1-year anniversary yesterday, so newbies, very interesting. It's always a challenging first year, I think, with any business, and when you add a pandemic to it, it's definitely been an interesting year to launch a business, but it's been an exciting year. We are just kind of getting ready to launch wholesale, so super exciting and funny listening to all the kind of co-packer stories. We, back in the summer of 2018, when we were just kind of testing here in Toronto at a few farmers markets, testing a few different products to decide which direction we wanted to go in with the business. We were kind of operating out of a commercial kitchen and making everything ourselves, but when we decided really to focus in the functional space and pursue these products, all our products are dietary supplements, and so they're regulated at a whole different level. We're not just adding little bits of these medicinal ingredients. Every product has truly medicinal doses of everything, and it's a supplement, so we can't, even if we wanted to, make our own products. Like, they have to be manufactured in essentially a pharmaceutical grade facility, and everything's lab tested and very regulated. So very happy to have that on my plate. But yeah, we definitely played around with that at first when we were developing the products. And so those are our primary products. We're a bit of a platform brand. We have herbal teas that kind of follow that same philosophy, but they're loose leaf tea, so they're not quite as concentrated and potent. And we have a line of super clean, paleo, keto-friendly chocolate that we do. It's not one of our main lines, but we do it every year as kind of a limited release. We actually just released it again this year. So it's a fall release, and then it kind of just sells out when it sells out because we can't ship it during the summer. And hopefully we'll bring that into the functional line as well soon and start making some flavors with some functional ingredients as well. That's that.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for doing all the intros and getting everyone kind of more up to speed on everything your guys' company is about. We've had some questions come through, so I thought I'd kind of kick it off and let you guys kind of answer those. And everyone who's participating, feel free to put them in the Q&A, and we'll get to as many as we can before we kind of wrap up the session. So the first one that came in from Elena is, we'll direct this maybe to Diana. Why don't you start this, and then we can kind of ping pong around a little bit. But what advice would you have for someone looking to start a business today?
I guess I would say, if you're looking to start a business, go ahead and get going. I mean, the hardest thing for me was the initial decision to make the initial leap and to get going, and not to trust my judgment, and to worry about being perfect, and to worry about trying to be perfect. I mean, at a certain point, you really can't be. And so at a certain point, you just have to do the best you can, take risks within your ability to take risks. I mean, obviously you don't want to lose everything all at once, but just get going, decide what you're comfortable with, and be willing to make mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and then revise and regroup and keep going from there, and keep trying, and don't give up just because things don't work out the first time, because they probably won't.
Well said. Well said.
Yes, exactly.
You want to piggyback on that?
Sure. You said it so eloquently, Diana, and it's so true. And I think it is. It's kind of the fear. You got to stand on the edge, and you just got to jump all the way into the deep end and go. And not that, not to be afraid of mistakes, because you're going to make mistakes. There's going to be lots of mistakes. I think it's just picking up the ball and running with it again. Just dust yourself off and move on. And surround yourself with good people, that know what they're doing, smart people who have kind of been there before, and honest people. I don't know about everybody else here, but we've gotten a lot of really bad advice. Yeah. And honestly, that's why I love doing this. with other founders, because it's truly the most genuine advice you're going to get when you can talk about the times you got, you know, the black eye and whatever, you know, you fell and you blew it. Or I remember telling a story, you know, of you're doing it all and it's not pretty and there are mistakes and things sometimes turn out lovely and people will go, how did you do this? Like, oh my gosh, it was just, you know, luck and a mistake and then this and then, well, it was all we could afford. So that's how. So Chelsea, I don't know if you have something else to add.
No, I think, I mean, kind of what both of you said, but just be ready to learn from your mistakes because you're going to make them, and it's as embarrassing as it feels, everyone else has probably made that same mistake in their own lane and in their business.
Yep.
So
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, next question. This comes from Danielle and Elisa and Ruth. Why don't you guys grab this one? So Danielle's asking, how do you separate work and life when you are so passionate about what you do? Go.
I mean, I can jump into it. I don't. I'm the worst at it. I don't separate at all. I actually have a full-time job in addition to running a business. So I kind of have 2 full-time jobs. So I pretty much work all the time. And then the other awful thing that I did is that I kind of brought in all of my friends and my boyfriend into my business too. So like we're all working all the time. But I think to me, you know, I think you kind of have to be realistic that especially when it's a startup and very new, people are working kind of 24/7 and it's really, really hard to step away because I feel like no matter how much you do, there's always more. And I always feel like I'm just sort of mediocre at whatever it is that I like put out there. And every time something out, I'm like, it could have been so much better, but you kind of have to just sort of get rid of it. You know, so for me, I think involving people that I love so that I'm able to spend time with them in my business has kind of allowed me to do both kind of at the same time. And sometimes realistically, you know, there were months, especially when we were manufacturing, that was the only time like I saw my friends or, you know, my boyfriend would come in and we would do it together. And then maybe at the same time, it starts to feel a little bit less like work in that sense too. And it just sort of becomes like family life. So sorry, I don't feel like I have a really good advice in that sense. But hopefully at some point, you know, it becomes a little bit more regulated, but we'll see. I'm curious what some of the more established founders think about that too.
Yeah, I mean, I echo that. I'm coming from kind of not the more established space, but I think that's exactly the point, right? Like in the first couple years, unless you're just swimming in money and don't mind throwing, you know, everything you have at the company, the first couple years, your team is going to be super, super lean. So you kind of don't have a choice, right? You're working around the clock, you're pouring every last bit of energy into it. And it's, you know, it's a sacrifice you're willing to make, and with kind of the goal and the hope being that it takes off and it goes well and eventually you have a bigger team. And when you have a bigger team, you know, then you can have a bit more of a life outside of work. But yeah, I think it's just the reality of the first couple of years, especially if, you know, you do want the business to be really successful quickly and not, you know, be swimming in debt for too many years. But again, if you love it and you're passionate about what you're doing, then I don't want to say it doesn't feel like work. Sure, it feels like work, but I think there's many aspects of it that are just, it's exciting and it's rewarding. And so even though it's work, it's often something you choose to do, right? Because it's how you like spending your time and it's worth it. And when you get customer feedback and you see how your products are affecting people's lives, and, you know, it's work that is energizing and worthwhile. And yeah, just kind of hoping that down the road you can step away a bit.
Oh, that's so well said. Would anyone else like to chime in on that?
Well, I'll jump in. So I did a bad job of explaining where I came from. So I started in my kitchen. It was the summer of '03 when I was tired of my boring old salad. Went to the local health food store, got some pumpkin seeds, started making them in my cast iron skillet, and people said I should sell them. So I did my first big show, and for anybody that does commercial shows, mine was at the Ridgefield High School auditorium. It probably cost me $20 to do it, and I made $1,000 that day, which is big news. And I spent, 6 years doing arts and crafts shows and farmers markets and something here called the Big E, which is like a World's Fair, 17 days from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. I would sample and sell SuperSeedz. And I was just telling my husband today, like, I miss that. I miss that interaction with the consumer and just being one-on-one. We've grown. I went from being and doing everything to bringing some people on board to help me grow the business. And I will warn you that you have to be careful when you do that. Yeah, I actually let some of these people, I believe they knew how to do it better than I did, when in fact, they didn't. You really need to maintain control of your company, watch what's going on, and keep your fingers still in all the baskets. You're going to wear all the hats in the beginning. And I remember reading an article in the beginning, because I hate doing paperwork, that eventually you can give some of those hats away. But you really need to stay in tune with your business, be on top of everything, and really oversee and not trust it to other people. You really need to learn your ins and outs, and you hire brokers. They'll sell you to do everything, and you really need to evaluate. I mean, it's your hard-earned money, and you can spend it like Monopoly money, but you really need to figure out what's going to work best for your company and to grow it. And because I can look back and say, oh, I probably should have spent $20,000 in that 10 by 20 booth. We weren't ready for it. And then to spend, so much a year to make, there's a lot of mistakes that, you can reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions of things that I would do differently. But, again, we learn from our mistakes, and, we move on from that. But it's certainly an interesting place right now to be in this coronavirus thing. It's very challenging, but we look forward to getting through it and continue to grow. But, keeping your thumb on everything right now is just so important.
Yeah, well, that's actually a great segue. We had a question from Robin about, specifically given the pandemic, what has been the hardest part? I mean, being a founder is already hard. So what has been the hardest part about both kind of life and work given the pandemic? Not to kind of be too much of a downer, we'll give you guys a dose of reality, and then we'll move on to a bit more fun question after this.
Is that directed at a particular?
Yes. Anyone want to pop? You guys want to?
I can answer this. Everyone knows it's been a difficult time, unprecedented. If you haven't heard that word enough, you're going to hear it again. But I just think that no one's ever been through this, and so figuring out the complete changes in our industry, especially because Kathy, kind of like what you were saying, that customer interaction and doing trade shows were so vital to our business, and just trying to manage personal anxiety and personal stress and all of that on top of the business anxiety and business stress. Like it just all blends together at some point, and there's no there's no relief, but it's been important to find things where you do get relief from just the business, whether it's different forms of self-care, which looks completely different now. It's starting to look a little bit more normal, but in the beginning few months, just trying to find different ways to kind of care for yourself when you wanted to care for other people too, but you really couldn't, and just everything changed.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else want to chime in on that?
Go ahead.
Everyone.
Well, and I think we probably all have the same answer. For us, we do a lot of specialty coffee business, a lot of food service. So college campus, So, you have the hotels and the college campuses, all of that shut down. So, our business for the food service side tanked. While e-commerce, stayed pretty steady.
Airline is a big part.
Oh yeah. So we're on Alaska Airlines, and they weren't flying, and when they did start flying again, obviously the flights are not up to what they were before.
They're not serving food.
Yeah, and they're not serving food. So so that's tough. Where I think also a lot of people assumed that e-commerce, so the Amazon business, because we have a food product, would just take off, and we did get that surge. But once Amazon brings all that product in, then they have to go through it too. So, so you get that surge and then they get that lull. So, and I think people did not expect that.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very true.
absolutely. I mean, I think as Chell said, I don't know if we're past, we're definitely not in the same normal as before, moving into a new normal. But I think having self-care, having that self-awareness, finding those new avenues to kind of find joy, to help balance out everything that's going. I mean, I know that's been our mantra here. So shifting gears into another question, this one came from Rosa. She's wondering, I know each of you guys have, product lines. I know here we talk about, are you team almond or team cashew, but she was wondering, what is your favorite product and why? And so I'm going to let you guys each kind of answer that and give your kind of favorite product, whether it's a flavor or variety, which one is the one that you reach for the most?
Ooh, I'll go first. My favorite is vanilla almonds. I love it. I actually, people ask me all the time, do you still eat oatmeal? I'm like, yes, I do. But I'm really super excited about our new product that we're launching in packets, which is organic oats, seeds, and sprouted flax. And it's has no sugar added, which I need. So anyway, I won't keep you guys. Go ahead.
Sounds great.
I don't know. Should I go? I guess mine's different than that. Mine is our triple berry. And it's really because honestly, but you just add a scoop of peanut butter to it. It's exactly like eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So it's so good. So, and actually we just launched that in packets and in cups into Walmart. So we actually created the packets for Walmart. So they're exclusive for a year for that. So
Nice.
Congrats.
Yeah. Who wants to go next? Ruth?
I'll jump in. It's a hard one. I'm asked this a lot, and honestly, I always say it's like asking a mother who her favorite child is. Like I developed all the products, so I do love them all. I'm just very moody with my food and drink, so I eat what I crave in the moment, and my body just craves different things at different times. So I mean, I love our matcha blend, either first thing in the morning. I won't have it at night because of the caffeine. So in the morning or as like an afternoon pick me up. And I love our Bliss and Glow, our cacao and turmeric blends to like unwind at night. Or even my cacao mix, like blended into coffee for a mocha. It really just depends what I'm craving. So I don't have a favorite. I have moods.
Diana?
My favorite is milk chocolate, just plain milk chocolate. And it's funny because our bestseller is dark chocolate and sea salt. And I always tell people, you think you only like dark chocolate, but if you taste the milk chocolate, it's kind of dark, and it's just sort of perfect to me. It's just really simple. It's just dark chocolate and quinoa. Milk chocolate and quinoa. And I still end up eating it constantly. So that's my favorite. I do have a favorite child, but not really.
And you're still eating it after all these years, which is always a good sign, right? So 3 weeks in, or the college kids who are scooping ice cream all summer can't look at ice cream anymore.
Yep.
I think I'm going to side with Ruth. I think it's a mood thing. It's a time of the day. Is it the cinnamon on my yogurt, the spicy on my salad? It's just what I'm craving at the moment.
I have to say the sea salt are incredible though. I had this like crazy snack craving the other day, and I remembered and I ran over, and I ate way too much in one sitting.
That is our number one.
Yeah. Good. So for me, the Super Bites, my favorite flavor is the cashew blueberry.
Mine
it's not
too.
one of the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's the cashew blueberry. I've always loved it. And we do eat them all the time. I mean, I might go like maybe a week and not have it, but when you're hungry and you're at work, it's what you have on hand, or it's in the car because you're, taking samples to somebody. And we do eat it all the time. And sometimes we'll look at each other like, this tastes really good.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
What's your favorite flavor?
My
Sean?
favorite's the cashew coconut. I was really excited when we launched that one. I was kind of getting to the point where I'm like, I don't know if I could eat these same 4 flavors all the time anymore. And then we did some innovation, and the cashew coconut's my favorite. We always tell people that it tastes like vacation. And it's the closest thing I've had to vacation all year.
It's really good.
Yeah. Elisa, what about you?
I love snooze. I mean, that's my favorite. I feel like it's like the perfect nighttime treat if I can't fall asleep or if I'm just traveling. And for me, lavender vanilla, I just love lavender and everything. And that's actually the flavor that people kept telling me, like, it will be bitter. It's hard to balance lavender in like a hard candy. And so it took a little while to sort of figure out how to do it. But I feel like it's just the most perfect blend of a flavor that I feel like just like aromatically kind of puts you to sleep. So I definitely have a favorite one. And it's actually our bestseller too, which I don't know if I kind of created because I always promote that one kind of like everywhere, you know, so I'm like, am I doing this? But I think like out of all of them, it's just the one that really, really came out really good.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys all for joining us so far. We're going to end with like a little popcorn question answer game. So I have a list of just quick little questions. We'll see how many we can get through. I'm going to start with Diana, and I'm going to like go clockwise this way, but I'll call out your name when I ask it. Everyone's going to get a different one, so you won't really know what's coming. So be ready, answer quickly. Mandy and Sherry, you'll each get one. So be ready. All right, Diana, guilty pleasure.
Sleeping late.
Shells, favorite book.
Oh, I really loved the line "The Witch in the Wardrobe," the Chronicles of Narnia.
Love that. Steph, if you could meet a historical figure, who would it be?
Oh, well, I'm so sorry. I am a Christian. It would be Jesus, of course. So, yeah.
Elisa, morning person or night owl? I think maybe you're snooze.
Morning person. Morning person. Yeah. I need my snooze so that I can wake up.
Yeah. Kathy, as a kid, what did you want to be when you grow up?
I loved to cook as a kid. So I always enjoyed making my parents breakfast in bed and just being in the kitchen.
Awesome. Sherry, what was your first job?
Dairy Queen.
Nice. Mandy, podcasts or music?
Music.
Ruth, celebrity crush.
Oh, how did I get I honestly don't. I can't answer this question. I really
All right,
don't.
next one for you then. Would you rather go 5 years in the future or 5 years in the past?
Oh man. 5 years in the past.
All right.
Yeah.
So Diana, we're gonna keep
She
going.
knew COVID was coming, and then she's gonna.
Exactly. I would. No,
Yeah,
just
I
like,
mean,
you know how.
Yeah,
5 years.
We'll do like Back to the Future with the
It just-
sports memorabilia book.
Well, just kind of the future is going to happen anyway. So it's like I know how the last 5 years of my life evolved, and it's almost like a choose your own adventure, and it would be neat to do
Yep.
it.
I love it. I love it. All right, Diana, if you could travel anywhere, where would it be?
I haven't been to Asia, so I'd really love to go to Vietnam and Sri Lanka. There's a whole bunch of countries that I'd love to go to.
Awesome. All right. This was not planned, but we're landing on this question with you, Chels. Favorite condiment?
Oh,
Sweet
so funny.
relish.
There's a whole backstory to this.
I can make it really short. So I moved this weekend, and my sister, very sweetly of her, was unpacking all of my things into my fridge and my pantry, and stumbled upon 12 jars of sweet relish. And I thought that I had like maybe 2, because it's relish, it's never going to expire in pickle. And I had 12 jars of sweet relish. So if you need any, let me know, because it is in short supply. That's why I stopped.
She won't live that one down.
Yep, never. Might get some more for Christmas.
In your stocking.
Yeah.
Steph, what is your favorite thing about your career?
The people for sure. Getting to meet people, all different people, sharing, being founders with these fantastic women that are here today. Yeah, it's for sure the people that you get to meet and the relationships.
Elisa, what would you sing at karaoke night?
Oh my gosh. Probably something by the Spice Girls. That's my guilty pleasure. I love them. I love all of the like British pop from like the 90s.
Awesome. Kathy, if you could go back in time, what year would you travel to?
Oh my. I don't know.
That's a hard one.
That is a hard
That's
one.
a hard one. That's very tricky.
You can say the decade, maybe.
Yeah, I think I'm happy right here. I don't know if I'd go back.
That's awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, those were all the questions. I feel like I need to end on a different one because we need to maybe round it out here. Sherry, question for you. What is your favorite color?
I don't even know.
Oh no!
Nope, definitely not red. Probably purple, actually.
That's a good color.
Yeah.
All right.
7 years, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. We'll end on that one because clearly I can't come up with questions on the spot. But I just wanted to thank everyone who joined. We wanted to thank all the founders. This has been just an incredible opportunity for me getting to know each one of you and just your incredible stories and your wonderful products. And I'm excited for everyone to have been able to learn a little bit more about each one of you. And if there's anything final you guys want to kind of wrap up and say before we say goodbye to everyone on the Zoom here, please feel free to go ahead and do that.
What about if we just all go through just like one little bit of advice? And it could be anything. It doesn't have to be business. I mean, you know, we're living this life together. I am obviously the oldest one here, the grandmother. So since I said it, I will go first. And I didn't think of what I would say. So that's just how brilliant I am. Just putting myself on the spot. But I just feel like just to end on a good note with just so much stuff going on in the world right now and things, just so much hate. And I just think, I love that Elizabeth called this our happiness hour. We want it to be happy. We have a saying at Tosi, and it's happy snacking, you know, just kind of our send off and our sign off. And I just feel like as women, we bring a strength, and, you know, there's no men here, but there's a strength that women bring as moms. We bring all of the people into the world, just like my husband always says. He's like, you already make all the people, like, what else do you need? But we have a strength and a heart, and I think just an intuition that I think can just move mountains, change worlds, do so much. And so this is just something that I just did recently. I just asked my husband, we always do just white, clear Christmas lights. I said, I really want to put the Christmas lights up now. It's just kind of a statement to the neighborhood and people that drive by that it's just cheery, it's happy, it's joyful. And, you know, so, I mean, I just think if you guys can just do that, start every morning, go to sleep every night with your cheerful thoughts, joyful thoughts, enjoy what you have, savor the moments. Chelsea, you're on the spot. You have to go next.
Kind of on that same note, I mean, you know, it's just a different time that we're living in, but I heard it on a podcast, actually, true crime podcast. I'm a big fan, but they basically said, like, to live your life to just try to positively affect people and not negatively affect people. And I know that I can do both. We're human, it happens, but just to try to, like, leave a positive impact on everyone that you encounter.
That's great. I love that. Yeah. Okay, Diana.
Go ahead. I'm going to kind of echo where Stephanie was. I mean, to me, it's all about connecting. And I mean, that's why I love this business so much. It's been, you know, it's creative, and it's, you know, it's like solving a puzzle, and there's a million things you love about it. But then it's nights like this, and it's at trade shows, and it's when you go to meetings. And at the end of the day, what's so wonderful about this, and the best thing probably about anything that you do, is connecting with terrific people and being just really grateful to have this kind of opportunity and opportunities to connect with all these great people and be on the same kind of path in life where we're doing these great things. And it's always fun to meet new people and do that. So to enjoy those things as you do whatever you do.
Kathy, did you want to go? Go ahead.
I don't want to go now. No. No, I think it gets down to, and I try to remind myself, thoughts become things. And we really need to get up in the morning and think positive and what's going to go right. And then in this crazy world, it's so easy to think about all the things that aren't maybe going right now. But also it's jumping in. It's like all of you, when I jumped in, and people said, oh, you should sell your product. I had freaking no idea. You know, you start going to shows and packaging shows and just reaching out to everybody. And I think that's the beauty of this. You know, so many times you can connect with people and share your stories and share, you know, the ups and the downs. But I think all of us are just so willing to lay it out for anybody who wants to know and make the connections. I mean, I'm always there for anybody, whether they're, you know, starting in their kitchen or, you know, some of us that we've gone through some of the ropes and we're still learning. It's always a learning process. And I think just knowing that people are here and willing to help us and connect is huge. And that's what it's all about. We're all in it together, girls.
We are. Yep. Elisa, do you want to go?
Sure. I mean, you all were going deep. I was just going to say, like, make sure you have an extra mask in your bag because it's the worst.
That's great. Great advice. Yeah.
My thing. But no,
You're
I mean,
going
out. Yeah, you go out. Once in a while, I know. Feels like a treat. But, you know, I think it was interesting when I was starting this business, I was talking to a friend of mine and I was like telling him what I was doing and why. And he kind of stopped me and he said, no, you just have to think about it as betting on yourself. And he's like, it's different when you work for other people. It's like you're betting on other people or whatever it is. But he's like, when you're doing this, like you just have to bet on yourself. And I thought that was actually kind of interesting and profound because, I mean, it happened in a bar, so it actually was not like a profound moment, but it was interesting. I think, you know, I think you can apply that to almost anything that, you know, you're doing, whether you want to like run a marathon or you want to just, you know, redecorate your house or you want to start a business, is that idea of like believing in yourself and just kind of rooting for yourself on every single day, kind of getting up with that attitude. So I try to always remember that when things get tough, or if I'm like, if I have a day when I'm completely discouraged and everything is going wrong, I'm like, no, it's okay. Like I can get through it. I just have to believe in me being able to sort of get through it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Ruth?
You said about
Go
betting.
ahead.
That's literally what I say every time somebody asks me that question.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I always say, if you're willing to bet on yourself, if you know that, you know, out of anybody in the world that you think that you can do this the best and put the most effort in and have passion, then take the bet. So, you know, we live in Vegas, so it's better than betting. You know?
Mandy, do you want to add?
So my advice would be a couple things. One is to hire people that are smarter than you, and don't be afraid to do that. Learn to delegate and not micromanage, because you'll just keep spinning your wheels. But like to Kathy said earlier, it is important to keep your hands and knowledge into every single like little pocket in every division of your company. But you really need to
let some of it go.
Yeah, you do, and you have to hire people that are smart, and that you can trust 100%. And if you don't trust them, fire them. That's it. That's quick.
Yep.
No.
Ruth?
Oh, you guys are so kind.
Dealing with that.
You guys are so kind and sweet, and I'm like,
I can see this. Off with your head.
I'm going to jump back to Stephanie's joy and happiness train. And it is like, I mean, it's in our brand name, and it's something that I've always believed, but I think especially this past year, just the concept of, I think, you know, we live in such a go, fast-paced society that it's so easy to just get caught up every day in just everything. and joy and happiness just ends up being the big things, the holiday you look forward to and the party you look forward to and the celebration. But we're so consumed and so go in the moment that we don't stop to just see the immense joy in all the little things that are around us every single day. And I think this year it's especially like that much more important because there's so much crap and it's not going anywhere, but it doesn't mean it all has to be right. Like there is still so much opportunity if we just slow, and it could be anything. It could be the sunset. It could be something in nature. But I think if we make that effort and slow down and take all that beautiful stuff in, there's just so much opportunity. Despite all the negative and craziness going on right now, there's still so much opportunity for joy in the little things. And I think it's just that much more important right now. So just a reminder to just slow down and do that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's beautiful. That's a great send off too.
Yeah.
So cheers to all of you lovely founders and all of the people that joined us tonight. Thank you guys for just giving us an hour of your life. We appreciate it. And it's been really fun. Blessings to you all.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you all.